Welcome back to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the uploads. In today's video, I want to talk about something that we discussed on TikTok. I know I'm talking about TikTok a lot. That's where I am. If you want up to date, every day I'm posting something on TikTok in relation to music, history sometimes, music history, even some Black history, but also some of these hot topics that we discuss here and on the podcast. Follow me on TikTok, the KEMPIRE, everything's the same. Make sure you follow me there. Anyways, this video is based on because I love when people comment and let me know, talk about this, talk about that. And someone commented, are you watching The Family Chantel? Yes. If you're a fan of 90 Day Fiance, you met the family Chantel specifically, who was bringing back her then boyfriend, also fiance, secret fiance from the Dominican Republic to meet her family, not telling them the full story about their relationship, that they were actually engaged and that she was bringing him here on a 90-day, K-1 visa. So they have to get married within those 90 days. If you watch 90 Day Fiance, you know the premise. You probably even know Chantel and Pedro. Well, we followed their relationship on 90 Day Fiance. The family Chantel's family, is insane in such a good TLC reality show way. And I'll go into the specifics of the people that I really truly enjoy and the dynamics. This is the second season of The Family Chantel. The first season really was it continued to focus on Chantel's relationship with Pedro and Pedro's falling out with Chantel's entire family, but also Chantel's entire family battling Pedro's family. They even make a trip to the Dominican Republic, insinuating that Pedro was just using Chantel for a visa. They say that to all the, to the quote unquote foreigners that are trying to marry an American. And apparently, and they always come up with some sort of scheme in the show, like, oh, the mother was doing this and the mother was doing that. And sometimes it seems legitimate, but the way that they come across is just sort of like, are you just grasping at straws right now? Anyways, that was the first season of Family Chantel, which was sort of like a continuation of 90 Day Fiance and the issues that Pedro was having with Chantel's family. It got really bad to the point where Pedro fought one of Chantel's brothers, like a physical, like I have never seen a fight like this, probably not since like Jerry Springer. This is what I'm saying. If you've never watched, it might be worth watching at least their season of 90 Day Fiance, the first season of The Family Chantel, but definitely the second season. Second season, they're not focusing so much on Chantel and Pedro. Chantel and Pedro are redirecting their energy towards the unknown brother that we didn't know that they had, Royal. First off, I don't know if I want to jump into Royal first or if I should just talk about the cast of characters. So I don't remember everyone's names. So Chantel has two brothers and a sister. And of course, her mother and father. Beautiful family. They're actually, very good looking family. Chantel and Pedro are a very beautiful couple. The situation between Chantel's brother, not Royal, not the older brother, I guess it's her younger brother, and Pedro, that really went to a dark place. We don't really get into these dark places often in these reality shows, but it really went to a dark place when that fight happened. That fight was just so hard to watch, but that's probably what got them their own show, their own spinoff. A lot of these people don't get spinoffs. We've only seen spinoffs from a couple of them, including The Family Chantel, and of course, most recently, Darcy and Stacey. I will do a separate video on Darcy and Stacey. I know you guys have been asking for it. Let's talk about that as well, because I have a lot of opinions in that regard. But The Family Chantel, as I said to you before, this first season really focused more on Pedro and Chantel. But the mother, Karen, she is a gift that keeps on giving. I have to really do a separate video just talking about each and every quote. She comes, she'll take what we've said commonly and phrases and things like that, and she'll make her own definition. I don't think, well, she said, karma is a mother and I am a mother. And you're literally waiting for her to get to the point. You're like, okay. And the family just sort of, I don't think they react to it. They just sort of like, It's just how she is. Especially the father. The father really is he's just there for the ride. She runs the whole situation. He's just there, and he's just sort of like, and we've seen that even when it came with Chantel and Pedro's situation, he really didn't step in and be like a strong father figure in the situation. The strongest figure in this whole situation is Karen, the mother. She brings the comedy, she brings the trouble, she is producing a show. We see it so many times in these other reality shows where you see that these characters are producing their own reality show within the reality show. And Karen does that with this show. There was a point during this new season where Karen is in her backyard where she has a huge koi pond. And it's not this beautiful koi pond. First of all, it seems like there's way too many koi in that pond. And it's just and she's out there and she's reflecting on something. I can't recall what she was reflecting upon. And the way that the editors produced this moment is like they understand what we understand about Karen, is that she's a bag of weird, like I like to call Mary Cosby on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She is the original bag of weird. But I love it. Like, I couldn't watch this show if it was just the other members of the family. Other members of the family aren't as entertaining as Chantel. Chantel's entertaining too because she's very ultra dramatic, but also her mother, Karen. So in this new season, Royal, who we didn't even know existed, comes back, brings his young wife from the Philippines into the family. The mother supposedly loves, Anjanette, in comparison to her, being very suspect of Pedro. She embraces Anjanette for the moment. She turns on her quickly in the Philippines. So apparently they were able to film this just in time where they went to the Philippines. I think it was at the height of COVID outside of the United States. So they were able to go to the Philippines. And Anjanette is another one to watch. Anjanette is not so innocent. You think she's really innocent when you first meet her. But when she's amongst her people, naturally, she is dropping all kinds of bombs. Like this last episode, the previous episode, she said, she in front of the family, well, Chantel, Royal tells me that he thinks that you're stupid. And that wasn't the first time that she dropped things like that. But she also accused Royal of not believing that the baby that she lost was his. And we still don't understand how that was, because apparently they're saying that, he hadn't seen her in a while and she ended up in America pregnant, but she ended up losing the baby. But Royal's not so innocent. It's always the quiet ones that you need to watch, because there are some aggressive and very weird situations with Royal, including him showing up at the club when they were here in the States and taking, Anjanette from the club. But then when he's in the Philippines, him losing his cool against the producer. So they break that fourth wall. And I'm not understanding why he's angry at the producer. Who knows? We don't know. With editing, we don't know what truly happened in that situation. But him losing his cool. But the thing that people are not talking about is when he was pushing to get to the producer, he took his other sister, not Chantel, I can't think of her name. Sorry, Alex, if you're watching this or listening to this. And he shoves his sister out of the way in such a violent way. I was like, okay, if you're doing this to your sister, I can only imagine what you do when the cameras are not rolling. It was a little disturbing. I watched it the other day again, and I was like, why is no one talking about that? Why isn't she talking about, like, you really, even though you were trying to get to someone else, you pushed me out of the way. Royal is interesting. At one point, he comes into his parents' hotel room where his mother has brought a crock pot or some sort of pot to make noodles, because just in case the food in the Philippines is not up to par for her. One thing I will give Miss Karen, she is learning the language of the Philippines, and she came out, they were on the bus, and she came out speaking. And I was like, what? But of course, she needs to make sure and make it clear when she doesn't want something. So she knows how to say no, thank you. Miss Karen is full of surprises as well. Anyways, when Royal comes to their hotel room, he pretty much tells them to go home. after the big fight that he has with Anjanette, because Anjanette brings her friends, tells her friends about the whole pregnancy situation where he denied that the baby was his. And I guess he wasn't prepared for Anjanette to call him out in front of everyone and on television about it. So he got really pissed about that. But anyways, when he goes to his family, and this is a totally different situation, and when he goes to his family, he tells them to just go home. Wait, we're in the Philippines. We travel all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to the Philippines. And mind you, they're there to have this second wedding. And he's like, go home. Of course, they don't go home. This last episode, they're still dealing with the aftermath of, Anjanette talking about him denying the pregnancy, Anjanette revealing how he truly feels about his family. What we all feel, they are weird in a lot of different ways. The only really normal one right now, it appears the only normal one is Pedro. And Pedro's there really sort of like, he's really entrenched in the family. It's kind of nice not to see the family so focused on this young couple. They're such a beautiful couple, and they're really cute together. I really love it when he calls her Pinky Winky. They're a cute young couple. They do seem like they genuinely love each other. I don't feel like Pedro really was using Chantel to come here and, have the American life. Who knows? Maybe that was a part of it, but he also probably loved her. I don't know. Anyways, it's nice to see in this second season that they're not focused on that relationship. They're focused on Royal and his relationship. That does seem a little suspect. Anjanette seems innocent, but she doesn't seem so innocent when she's in the Philippines, especially when she's dropping all these bombs. The other part, as I said, I mentioned to you before, the beginning of the story, Pedro's family was also introduced to us in 90 Day Fiancé, and then, of course, the first season of The Family Chantel. So we get to see another producer, Pedro's mom and Pedro's sister. Pedro's sister is a little nutty, but anyways, they're filming in the Dominican Republic because Pedro's sister is now dating another Dominican man, but he lives here in New York City. But apparently to the mom, of course, she's producing a show. So as soon as he comes to visit in the Dominican Republic and he's bringing gifts for, all of them, she's not impressed that he's a manager. I forgot, we're at some retail store. She's not impressed with that. Apparently she's a lawyer in the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure how accurate that is. She also doesn't feel like this guy is good enough for her daughter. But when he comes to visit and bringing gifts and things like that, she's just not impressed. She takes his luggage and throws it out. I get it. And I know that for those of you that are watching The Family Chantel are probably thinking, this show is so produced, it's so not real, but it's still entertaining to watch. I've been watching it. I'm not too impressed with what's going on in the Dominican Republic. That storyline is not feeding me. It's not giving me what I would want. I think I prefer the interactions with Pedro's family and Chantel's family. But I continue. I'm glad that the show doesn't focus so much on that storyline. Of course, this new episode coming up, Pedro's sister is going to let her mom know that her boyfriend is actually still married, which happens a lot, especially nowadays. People get married and they don't find the need to get divorced. That seems to be his situation. I believe he's going to try and propose. I don't understand how people are proposing and they're still married. Stop divorce first, then get engaged. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on The Family Chantel. What are you looking forward to? Who are your favorite characters? And what's your favorite Karen line? Let's talk about it in the comments. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the uploads.